And that's what we've done. So we put a bid into the lottery, we got £500,000, we did it all ourselves, and we're about to put the concrete down for the first pads. And what we're going to do here is create a living, edible, learning landscape. And that will be a landscape. It's a bit Darwinian, but I mean, hey, let's not reinvent things if somebody else thought of it already. So what we've got now are aquaponics units that will be growing tilapia, carp, certain types of prawns, fast-growing fish. Those tanks will be cleansed by watercress and other crops that themselves are food crops. And the sort of fish poo water, if you like, then feeds the aquaponics unit so we can grow the veg around. And surrounding that, we're planting orchards, and within that, we're having bees, and within that, we're having chickens and the like. So this is a bit of land that anybody, if you've got a headmistress or headmaster that's up for it, you can do some really creative things. And again, it's exactly like the stuff that we're doing at the health centre. If kids every day of their life walk through an edible learning landscape, they will think differently about the planet on which they live. It's as simple as that. It just isn't going to happen overnight. But it's not just about formal education, it's also about what you do with little ones. And with little ones, when you've not got any land to grow on, you have welly competitions or whatever it is. And you grow things with wellies, or you make men out of what you've grown, or whatever else it might be. And it's not just about how you grow it, it's how you cook it. And this is a Food for Life guy here, Tony, who's been totally fantastic and runs Pulp Kitchens during the summer, where he's teaching kids at the high school how to cook. But we've also got another volunteer. These are all volunteers who are teaching the lost arts of pickling and bottling and preserving, because obviously in our part of the world, if you want to have decent food all year, you've got to know how to deal with it and when to put it in straw, when not to put it in straw. And most people haven't the foggiest idea, but it's fun learning. And then we can't expect people on the estates to come down to the high school, because it just doesn't work like that. You've got to get out on the estates yourself with your pots and pans. Now, we made some big mistakes in the early days. The very first one we did of these, we turned up on an estate. I know this, it just sort of like pigeonholes them, and I don't mean to be unkind, but we did, it was a learning exercise. We turned up at 12 o'clock on a Sunday. The only people that were up was us. So basically, we stood there talking to ourselves like complete idiots. What we do now is we go at 2 o'clock, and we let them know we're coming. And they all come out, and they help. And some of these people had never, ever seen or cut into a sweet potato. You know, they had no idea what to do with broccoli. No idea at all. I mean, we've really got to understand what we're up against here. So you have some fun, and you show people how to make stuff, and they taste, and they experiment. And if you do it month after month, you get some real champions that are coming through. And then there's the business play. So, how do you actually tackle the business play? You're just a community group, you've not got pots of money, what are you actually going to do? So I thought, well, farmers, I had a meeting with some farmers, right? Now, I love farmers, they're great, but they are quite a difficult lot to get through to. So there am I, banging on this woman at the front. I had 30 local farmers and farmers' wives and children and so on in the audience, who were all sat there like this. And I'm giving them the upbeat stuff about how we want to really support local farmers, and you're the guardians of our countryside and all that other stuff, which is true. And by the time I'd got to the end, I only wanted to do half an hour. They kept me there 2 hours, it was a killer. They'd kind of like relax their arms. Now, that wasn't the most positive thing in the world, but for me, it was a sign of intent. And then they started to say, well, are you doing any of that? You know, because obviously, I don't know if we have any farmers in the room, but they're fabulous if there's other people doing stuff and they think they can make money from it and so on and so on, which is fine, it's a business. So I thought, how can I show these people that we really, really want to support local farmers in Tottenham? I know, I'll just make up a campaign. So I made up Every Egg Matters, just because it made me laugh. And what I wanted to say was, for no other reason, what I wanted to say was, let us suppose we could create a brand loyalty around one product, just one product. If we could do that, what would that say to the farmers? Would they then say, oh, maybe there is something in this local food, maybe I'll start investing more in terms of what I'm actually doing locally and selling back into the local market, which itself will reinvigorate a dying market. So we started to put out questionnaires to find out who actually was keeping their own hens and selling them to the neighbours. And we started off with a map of 4, and now we're on a map of 54. So this is out of date. We've got 54 different people in Tottenham selling to their neighbours. Well, the interesting thing about that, particularly with a little catchy title like Every Egg Matters, is people start to think there's a Todman and egg brand. It's what they do. So they go into the local shops and they say, excuse me, can I have a Todman and egg? And of course it doesn't exist. But we believe that eventually we'll be able to create, we were looking at a cooperative, but we've not got the critical mass to create a cooperative yet. But maybe within a 10-mile radius we could do that around eggs. But what was important is farmers started keeping more free-range hens because they could sell more free-range eggs. And when that upped, they started selling more free-range meat birds. And those that had pigs free-range started upping the ante on the pigs. And now we've got a local farmer who has upped her the number of rare breed pigs she's actually got. She's upped her free-range hens. She's upped her turkeys she's got at Christmas. She fed 1,000 extra mouths over Christmas. It's amazing. And it's down to that sense of wanting to buy locally. And we're not the only people that are doing that, but obviously we are playing our part in that. And we've got another farmer who now takes little piglets, and you buy your own little piglet, and you watch it, because he's got a camera, and you watch it grow, 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 and then you eat it. Which seems perverse to a vegetarian, but apparently some people think it's really good. But you see what I mean? It's about that loyalty around a local product. And it's about that feel-good factor. And it's about that, yes, we can. And as a result of a lot of the stuff that we did, that organic farmer started by introducing one soft cheese for Tobinum, the first Tobinum cheese. He's now got 3 years on 5 different varieties, and they're getting better and better. And other people are starting to be interested in that, and local milk is now coming onto the agenda when it wasn't before. But because we haven't got lots of money to do stuff, how are we actually going to stimulate a market? Well, we just bought these notice boards and we put Incredible Edible on the top. And we gave them to any market trader who was selling local food, whatever it was, so that they can chalk up their USP about what they're selling locally. And it's made a big difference, and now, having given them away, they're asking for more and more, because more and more people are asking for local food. And we've got this lady here who was making her own cheese. And that was fine, and she was selling her stuff, but then we got a local Asian restaurant who were growing on their top floor Naga pickles, which are really hot, and they were making them into very hot chili pickles, which are these. So we suggested that she might want to put the two together, so she put her rather bland cheese together with this really hot, spicy thing and created a cheese called Bad Boy cheese, which now sells out all over the place and is being sold through wholesalers, and all because, this is the Naga pickle empire, all because local people know each other, can talk to each other and can create opportunities. And then we've got the Incredible, and we've got 30 different people now learning how to keep bees. We bought 8 different beehives. We bought all the kit that people share as the cooperative, and we're hoping for Tobinum honey, Incredible Tobinum honey soon. And there's been lots of disasters along the way with this, I've got to tell you. I don't even want to go into it, but anyway, it's not been easy, but the numbers are growing and the interest is growing, and we've got to bid into the people's millions for a bee-friendly route along the canal, because I want to talk about the green route in a minute, which will be full of plants that bees love and also information that tells people why it's really, really important. But at the end of the day, how could we ourselves as a community, reintroduce the concept of market gardening into Tobinum? Because it's not been a market garden area for a long, long time. So basically we went to see, there's a guy called Nick, who's our main grower. There'll be a picture of Nick in a minute. And Nick and I clashed many, many times, but he's totally and utterly fantastic, and he's totally dedicated to growing and doing the sort of exemplar sites that people can then point at. So we went to a local garden centre who happened to, it's just up there, who happened to own this land, and we said, could we possibly have this land which is very marshy? And he said, yeah, because we've been going 2.5 years, he knows we're trying to do the good thing, and I would imagine his sales of seeds and vegetables have just rocketed. So we're obviously the best thing since sliced bread.